Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This your girl Ranisha. How y'all doing? Don't mind my look for today. It's a little chilly, it's a little cold, so I'm coming back with you with another video, a story time for you guys, and this story time is a little different than my other story time. This is a little personal to me. This is what I went through. This is what I've gone through last year. So this video is going to be about my story time, my first attempt of committing suicide, and tips on how to cope and deal with the stress of being suicidal. And so, and also I will link down below my previous video, my natural hair routine. I will link that down below. Also, all my social medias too. I will link them down below. But let's get started into the video. So, I committed suicide for the first time last year. It was a pretty tough situation, a pretty ongoing situation for me, being in a situation where I was at my lowest point of being depressed. So it was from me going through a hard time relationship with somebody, and then 3 months after losing my grandpa to cancer, and then also going through with finding a new job, dealing with my old job, finding a new one, and coping with things that I was going through. So it was pretty a rough 2017. So what I went through was I came home from work. I worked at Chipotle. I don't work there anymore. So I worked from Chipotle for about 5 months. And so it was the day, I would say the month of October was that. The next month was, my birthday, about to turn 21. But it was October. I came back home from just a long day at work. I was going through family issues as well. So I was going through that. As I was dealing with all the stress, depression, everything I was going through at once, I finally decided, enough was enough. So what I did was I took medication, pills that was right in front of me, that was here at my house. And what I did was I looked up things like how to, find things to not deal with the pain. I didn't want to cut myself, because I felt like that would be too extreme, and I didn't want people to look at my scars and what I was going through or question what I was going through, so I didn't want to do that. So I was looking up anything in a book to find ways to, basically clear myself. So what I did was like I said, I took medication that was right in front of me and so as I was taking them, I was sending a text to my friend. My friend, we are like this close. I sent a text to her, telling her I loved her, I couldn't do this anymore, basically sending something like my final goodbye. So I sent my final goodbye to her, and also my mother, I left her a note. So as I was doing that, at the time my mother was not at home when I was doing this. So as I was taking the pills, I was taking like about 5 or 6. And as I was taking about 5 or 6 of them, I just trying not to feel no pain, no was some sort of type of whatever. I was trying not to feel nothing. I didn't, like I said, I didn't care about what was going on. I was at my lowest point. I was done. I was like, what, this is my final life. This is it. I'm ready. So as I was doing that, my friend, she called me, she FaceTimed me, and she was telling me it was going to be all right. I was staying strong, and I just could not take it. Like, even though she was talking to me, making sure I was all right, make sure I got through it, I was just like, no, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. So as I was doing that, still on the phone with her, it ended up, we lost connection with each other. So it, like, the FaceTime connection went completely off. So as I was still taking the pills, I was crying at the same time because like I said, I didn't want to feel the pain. I didn't want to feel nothing. I just wanted to get it done and over it type thing. So as I did that, I immediately started, calling 911 because I feel like the more if I keep damaged and hurting myself, the more it will be coming to that point. So what I did was call 911. I talked to a 911 operator, and she was talking to me, just telling me it was going to be okay. It was going to be all right. Everybody goes through hard times, So, as she was talking to me, she was contacting the ambulance, the police, just contacting them and just trying to give me some help because, like I said, I was in the house home alone by myself. So like I said, my mother was not here. I was home alone. I was doing this by myself, all alone, with my dog included. So as she was talking to me, I was keep crying. I kept crying, emotions just kept flowing. So finally the police officers came and they make sure I was all right. The ambulance came in my home, and as well as the police officers. So they looked around the place, and they went into my room. They found the suicide note and on my bed, as well as the knife that I had. Like I said, I didn't cut myself. I didn't, cut my wrist or anything. I just had a knife right there, including the pills that I took as well. So all that was in my room. So they observed. So as they was observing, the ambulance was, talking to me, make sure I was okay, make sure I was all right, make sure I was, here, make sure I was okay. So after that, I went into the ambulance car and they took me to the hospital. As I was in the ambulance car, like I said, I was trying to feel no pain. When I was in the ambulance, I felt like I was in a daze. I was in a drought. Like I was, I'm not here. I was not responsive, as you can say. So as I was doing that, as they took me to the hospital, when you go to the hospital, when you commit suicide, when you go to the hospital, they take all items. They take your clothes, your phone, anything that you have on you. Because they want to make sure that you don't harm yourself well enough with the things that you have on. So they took everything. So I didn't have no contact with family, friends, anybody that couldn't get in contact with me. They couldn't. So they had my phone. So I was in the hospital. As I was laying there, I was waiting on doctors and nurses, and they came in to talk to me about the, situation, what led me to come to this point in time. And so as I was talking to my doctors and nurses, I felt good. I felt like I can talk to somebody actually talking to me. I'm listening to professional care, people that are helping me, knowing that I'm not alone, I'm not the only person. So as I was talking to them, I felt good, because like I said, with me, I hold my emotions in. I don't talk to nobody else. I don't let out what I feel or nothing. I keep everything in. I keep everything safe and secret to me. So as I was doing that, as I was talking to them, we was trying to find better solution for me. So as we was finding better solution for me, you have two choices. You can be an inpatient where you have nothing. So when I say inpatient, that means there's no phone, there's no internet, there's no watching TV. You're basically in a room with somebody else that's going through the same thing as you. So basically you are shut out from the outside world until you talk to a psychiatrist, and then they start all that. And then for outpatient is where you find better needs for yourself, like find a therapist, find a counselor, find somebody to talk to about the situation. So they gave me them two choices, and also they talked to my mom as well, feel what was better for me at the time, which one was. So I chose outpatient. So as I chose outpatient, I started immediately after I got out the hospital. I started talking to a therapist. It took I would say it took about 2 months to talk to a therapist, because therapists are so busy with things and they have a million people to, so it took me 2 months to talk to somebody. This was the first time. So the second time was before, I would say before my birthday, like 4 days before my birthday. 21, about to be turning 21, you don't want that for yourself. You don't want to, kill yourself before the time you celebrate being 21 and being, self. So I did that, and the second time around, I just immediately felt like if I'm gonna harm myself again, might as well go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital the second time. And the second time going to the hospital, they lock you up for 72 hours. So that means you're in there for 72 hours. So that means you have no contact with nobody. You have nothing. Zero. So I was in there for 72 hours. As I was in there, a psychiatrist came in there to talk to me, and we discussed what was going on. And like I told her, I was going through a bad toxic relationship with somebody. I lost my grandpa. On top of that, I was dealing with my old job, and then, finding a new job. So I was trying to find ways to cope. I was finding ways to try to better myself and try to find things for myself. So as we talked about that, she found a way, like I said again, she talked to my mom, do you want to admit your daughter to be inpatient or outpatient? So, and the choice was mine. The choice is always yours on whether you want to, be inpatient or outpatient. If you feel like you're going to harm yourself again, what better solution, better route is for you. For me, I felt like outpatient was better because, like I said, you have a million questions in your head when you go to inpatient. Like I said, there's no internet, there's no cell phones. You're being locked away from the outside world, basically. And like I said, you have a psychiatrist come in there and talk to you and see if you're fit or right for yourself be outside the world and make sure you don't harm yourself again. So I end up, like I told my psychiatrist, I was trying to find a therapist, tried so many times, and like I told her, the only way was keeping me motivated, was keeping me float, was, my friend, people that you love, and they don't see you go, that's what kept me going. And, so things like that. So I was like, you know what? I got to do better for myself. I got to, try to, keep myself afloat, keep myself going. It might be hard at times, it might be tough, but just keep fighting. So after I did that, after, the second time around, I started to talk to a therapist. And I won't discuss my therapist's name. So I started talking to my therapist. I started to talk to her about what I was going through, what I was feeling, how I was feeling, what I was, what ways to find treatment, and so as I was doing that, what helped me the most was talking to somebody, like a friend, close friend, somebody, anybody that's closer to you to talk to. Second, I wrote poetries, I, drawed, I found something to keep my mind busy at all times, from keeping me from thinking about hurting myself or harm others around me. So I tried to do that, which pretty much it worked very well. So after I talked to my therapist, I felt good about myself. I felt, as I'm talking to her, I feel like she's listening. She's just listening like my doctors and my nurses and my psychiatrists was. They was listening to how I was feeling. They was worried about my well-being. They was worried about my concern. So I felt good, talking to somebody about that. A lot of people don't talk about committing suicide, because they feel so embarrassed, or they don't want to be judged by other people, because at the end of the day, people don't want to be judged by what you have done, but they don't know how it feels to step in your shoes, to feel, at your lowest point. Like I said, I was at my lowest point ever in my life, and 2017 was not the best. When I say it was not the best, it was not the best. Like I said, I just was going through a bad relationship with somebody, and then on top of that, losing my grandpa to cancer, and then trying to work with my job, all types of stuff. So it came really tough. I would say tips on coping or dealing with your depression or anything. I would say, one, talk to somebody close. Like I said, talk to a friend, talk to somebody that you're close with. It can be a sibling, it could be a family, whatever. Talk to somebody close to you that, understands you, and, try to, help you out to deal with it. And then two, talk to a counselor, talk to a therapist. It can be somebody in your school, it can be somebody outside of your school, it could be, any therapist you want to see, anybody you want to talk to, and just let somebody know what you're going through. And then three, find something passionate you like. Something, like I said, I did poetry and drawing, and I felt like them was the only two things that kept me going. Or listen to music that I felt like that was cool. That's, find something that you're passionate about, whether it be running, any yoga, meditation, anything that you're passionate about, and keep you from thinking about killing yourself, and or think about suicidal thoughts. So just keep doing that. And then number 4, I would say, be strong, cope through it, be strong, motivate yourself to tell yourself that you have people around you that love you enough than what you may seem or think. So I would say, like, motivate yourself. I think that's be the best for yourself. So, well, this is the end of my story time, and I hope you guys like it. Make sure you comment, subscribe to my channel. Leave me anything, like I say, any comments, like it, share it to other people that are going through the same thing, because you're not alone. You're not alone. Everybody has some point has gone through something, so you're not alone. And and make sure you watch my natural hair routine. That'll also be linked down in the bio as well. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.